Hey, what's up? Are you struggling to find your first deal? Are you overanalyzing it? Are you wanting to buy your first flip, but you don't know what numbers to run? Well, check this video out because today we're going to talk about all of the hidden costs when it comes to buying your first property for flipping or renting. So I get tons of questions about what does it cost or what are the numbers when it comes to flipping or buying a house for a rental, flip, something of that nature. And today I want to talk about the numbers that go into actually buying a property. So you hear the famous, most popular term in real estate, the 70% rule, or I guess in the last couple of years, it's been 75% or 80%, depending on the market that you live in. But basically what that means is that you're taking 70% of the ARV, which is after repaired value, and then you are deducting your renovation cost on what you think it is going to be. And if you want to learn more about how to run your numbers on a fix and flip, check out this video above. And so you take your 70% of your ARV, you deduct your renovation cost, and then whether you're wholesaling it, buying it for a rental, or buying it for a flip, you then would calculate your MAO, or maximum allowable offer, from there. So now you want to ask, what goes into that spread, the 70%? What's in that 30% of buying a property? So how we look at it and how we analyze every single property is, yes, the 70% rule gives us a ballpark. And there's also another cool thing in REsimpli. You have a calculator that does all this for you. But anyways, the 70% rule gives you a ballpark of where you should be about from your offer. But from there, Maggie and I, or my wife and I, my business partner, whoever I'm with, we like to actually break down what the numbers actually look like. And so let's use a value of $200,000 is what the house is worth when you are all done. And so 70% of $200,000 would be $140,000. And so from there, let's say you have a $40,000 renovation, that means that you would want to buy the house for $100,000. Now, that $60,000 between the 140 and the 200 is not all of your money. So let's go over some simple math of what's going to go into that right there. So the first thing that you're going to pay is a realtor if you're fix and flipping it. Even if you're a realtor yourself, like for us, my wife is our realtor, we still treat the realtor funds like a whole different profit. It does not go into our fix and flip offer. And so what we do is we calculate 5%, which is what we pay all of our realtors for selling our properties. So 2.5% to us, 2.5% to the buyer's agent. And so from there, we will deduct $10,000, which now puts us at $190,000. Then you're going to have closing costs when it comes to buying a property. This is going to be specific to the area that you're in. If you're in an area that uses just title companies, it's going to be significantly cheaper. If you're in an area like South Carolina, where we use attorneys, it's going to be a little bit more. On average, it costs us anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 at the attorney's office to close a property. That's your deed stamps, that's your taxes, that's your, depending on the price point, it's your attorney, your title insurance, everything. And so we like to ballpark $2,000, with taxes, $3,000 for your closing. And so now we are at $187,000. Next thing we're going to calculate, and I like to do this to make it easy, what is it going to cost me when I sell the property? You're still going to pay your deed stamps, you're still going to pay attorney's costs, you're still going to pay all of these things that was just like you're selling it, and you're also going to have to pay back the taxes that you got credited for on your purchase. And so again, I like to factor in $3,000 when it comes to selling a property. It doesn't generally take that, but again, this is rule of thumb. And then we also include our closing coordinator in that price as well. And so now we are at $184,000. The next thing I want to look at is, what are my utilities going to cost me? Water, power, sometimes you have HOAs, sometimes you have gas bills. We like to keep that to as much of a minimum as possible, but we do like to budget $200 a month in general, unless we have an HOA that is significantly higher. So, and then every single fix and flip, no matter what, is a minimum of 6 months that you need to put out all of your numbers for. For us, we average 4.5 months from deed to deed, meaning the time we buy it to the time we sell it. But I still run my numbers based on 6 months. So 6 months at $200 a piece would be another $1,200. So now we're at $182,800. Now it comes into the fun part. You're gonna have to figure out what you pay for your money. So far we've calculated the realtor, we've calculated the A and B closing cost, we've counted the B and C closing costs, we've counted all of our utilities, electric, power, HOA, things like that. And so the next thing I'm going to calculate is what is your money going to cost. And so let's say your lender is lending to you at the 70% rule, which would be $140,000. If you're getting, let's say 12%, which depending on that, you could go up and go down private, you're going to spend $16,800 if you held it for an entire year. So as I said, I run my numbers at 6 months. So I'm going to pay $8,400. And so, in interest. And so we're at $182,800, I believe, minus $8,400 is going to be $174,400. And then from there, you're potentially going to pay some form of origination fee, some form of points that goes along with that. And so let's say you're paying 2 points. That's going to be another $2,800. And what points are is that is a flat fee that a lot of lenders collect up front. And that's really where they make their money when it comes to all of this lending. So another $2,800 in points. And then I think the origination fee for one of my lenders is $1,500. And that's basically for them to do all the documents. And so that's going to be right there, $170,100 is what you're going to be all in with your realtor, your A and B and C closing costs, your holding, and your hard money costs. So if you truly buy it for $140,000, your potential net profit is, find the sweet spot, $30,100. And so that is a really good profit for a $200,000, $40,000 renovation. And so those are the key things that you want to pay attention to when it comes to making your offer. And that's why the 70% rule generally works when it comes to making your offer. But let's say we did that at 75% of value, we would be $150,000. So that means we took $10,000 out of our potential profit. So now you're looking at only making $20,000. So let's say maybe it sells for $195,000. And then let's say it takes you $45,000 to renovate the property, then you've now lost 10 and your profit goes from 20,000 to 10,000. So when it comes to running your numbers, pay attention to these. Don't just offer based on what you think the renovation is going to be and a 70% rule. Actually offer on what the numbers are truly going to be and what you can borrow money for, what your closing costs are, and what you think that you need to make net profit in your own pocket. And that's the key. And so a lot of times, even after doing all this, how I start is I say, I want to make so much money before I even start all the other calculations. Because as you learn, pay yourself first, and you always make sure you'll get paid. So stay tuned for more tips. If you got any advice out of this, smash the subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos.